Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Path. Today we are digging deeper and trying to understand what is spiritual path, and how to be on a spiritual path. Sit back and relax. To be on a spiritual path means to live mindfully, paying attention to the signs along the road and being conscious of our body, the vehicle we are traveling in, and of the needs and safety of others on the journey. To be on a spiritual path means to look inward as often as outward, knowing that the externals of our lives are reflections of our thoughts and words, manifestations of that which we are imagining and energizing into being with the fuel of our passion. To be on a spiritual path means to use the rearview mirror to be sure that the path behind is clear of debris and that we do not obstruct another's journey with clutter of our own. It means making peace with our past, knowing our future contains it, and summoning the courage it takes to acknowledge, forgive, and release whatever we have clung to that impedes our movement. To be on a spiritual path is to take responsibility for creating our own creed, based on our commitments, and to respect the rights of others to do the same. It also means to reflect anew on what beliefs we've inherited to be sure they are compatible with our wisdom and compassion. To be on a spiritual path is to embrace the mystical paradox that while we are singular, physical beings on this journey, we are also profoundly connected to one another, animated and sustained by the same vast spirit that abides in the star, the petal of an iris, the howl of the wolf. To be on a spiritual path, it is necessary to forgive yourself for wrong turns, for failing to yield, for driving under the influence of others. These are minor and forgivable infractions. The more important rules of this road are to be attentive, to notice when you stray, and to get back on the path as soon as possible. We could all use a road map for the journey inward, a guide away from the crowded thoroughfare to the quiet path of our own true calling, a reminder that it is not the destination, but the journey that is important. We have created for ourselves so many hats to wear, so many identities, most of them practical and limited. The day we come around and remember, really remember, our true identity, each of us a spark of divine light, we'll realize that there is nothing out there to gain, to acquire, to accumulate, or to achieve, both materially and spiritually. All that is left for us to do after that day of remembering, is to consciously and continuously shed and let go of all the layers of conditioning we have believed and acquired, and have been holding on as part of our identity, for many, many incarnations. But, do we need a guru to guide us on the spiritual path? Many might question whether we even need a guru to walk the spiritual path. But a better question might be, when do we need a guru to walk the spiritual path? We all have an innate need to anchor ourselves. How we do it varies. Some pray, others meditate, some practice yoga, others Tai Chi. The reason why we seek spirituality doesn't vary all that much. Sure, one might say they do these for peace of mind, others for better well-being, and some for health. But there's a common factor behind these reasons: what we're after is self-improvement. Not just in an everyday, practical sense, but also in a larger, spiritual sense. It's true that spirituality is a natural part of our lives. Whatever the spiritual practice, it blends in seamlessly into our everyday life. It becomes an integral part of our belief system, carrying us forward in our journey. Sometimes, this self-practice might not nearly be enough to move us ahead and help us grow spiritually. When we actively pursue a spiritual journey, self-practice might not quite make the mark. Because, soon, we might find ourselves unequipped for the journey we embarked on. While we might not necessarily view our spiritual practice as something that requires teaching, we might find ourselves full of questions we wish we could discuss with someone well-versed in the practice, a guru. Many might question whether we even need a guru to walk the spiritual path. But a better question might be, when do we need a guru to walk the spiritual path? As the need for a guru is rather self-evident. Many read holy scriptures, some for knowledge and wisdom, others for spiritual needs. They read various translations of the originals and probably carry, for life, the underlying messages in those texts. Needless to say, it's imperative that those messages be true to their original texts. Even assuming one can find profound knowledge through scriptures on their own, there's no replacement for a guru. Only he can answer the questions that your mind encounters in any spiritual practice. An individual would be hard put to understand how much energy they channel during meditation, and how much of it is actually good for them. There's a very good chance we might be led astray without the guidance of a guru. It's not uncommon for astrology enthusiasts to get carried away by horoscopes. Most are aware of their sun sign, some of their moon sign, few of their rising sign. Hardly anyone knows that every planet in their chart resides within a zodiac sign and in turn a nakshatra asterism. So, when various websites on the internet publish forecasts, they might be only partially accurate, if at all. Many even succumb to making life-altering decisions based on these generic readings. A guru doesn't have to be a person, every individual has an inner voice that guides them. So, there is a guru within each individual. Similar to the idea of Sat, described in the Upanishads. Sat, the seed of truth, is the universal spirit or the Brahman that guides every individual on their spiritual journey right from birth. It's believed that this Sat determines our life path and the deeds we perform to complete that journey. But how many of us are in sync with our Sat, true essence? And how many of us are able to tap into it without the guidance of a guru? We might assume that meditation is one of the best ways to tap into it, but do we even know that not all meditations can be practiced by everyone? Several individuals seek a Kundalini awakening through meditations, in the hope of unfurling their true essence. Many are often in a hurry to achieve higher states of consciousness and spirituality without any concern for their physical limitations. Meditations can draw in divine energies that could cause overcongestion in the chakra energy junctions in the body. The volume of energy channeled could exceed the chakra's capacities. It is like plugging an appliance of 110-volt capacity into a 220-volt socket. This could result in an unsafe awakening of the Kundalini, bringing about adverse physical, psychological and mystical karmic results for the meditator. An individual would be hard put to understand how much energy they channel during meditation and how much of it is actually good for them. A guru's experiential knowledge is imperative in such instances, for only she or he know the right amount of energy that's needed for an individual's safe spiritual awakening. It's easy to think spirituality is a free-flowing, natural aspect of life. But if we want to truly strengthen our foundation to spiritual awakening, we do well to pursue it with a guru's grace and guidance. If not, we might find ourselves groping in the dark after a point. Interestingly enough, they say, Guru means the dispeller of darkness. And it's easy to see why. A guru is someone who's been there, done that, and knows what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, and everything in between and beyond. It's a feat the guru has to his credit, a feat we'd have a hard time achieving without his help. It's said, the blind cannot lead the blind. You can achieve spiritual enlightenment without a guru, but it's easier with one. Having a spiritual guide, one who has achieved enlightenment, makes the journey much easier, because they have been where you are, and they know profoundly what you need for spiritual development, and how to keep you on track. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to make the channel grow. Peace, love, and light, and stay blessed.